Okay, sorry, I had to back up. I just wanted to test it. That was fun. A couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to drive BMW's iX SUV, and it was a lot of fun to drive, but it's pretty expensive and it's no match for Tesla's Model Y, as the stats show. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. When I was at the Fully Charged Live Vancouver show back in September, I had the opportunity to drive BMW's iX. It was, like I said, a lot of fun. It was really a blast to drive, and it was very spacious, and it seemed very luxurious and everything. But I went back to my Model Y, not even my Model Y Performance, just my regular long-range Model Y, and it was so much better than the iX in so many ways. And just yesterday, AJ did a nice comparison between the BMW iX and the Tesla Model Y Performance. And as we'll see, the BMW does not stack up on any of the metrics. And then on top of the specs, because the specs don't always tell the whole story, I can tell you for a fact that even versus a long-range Model Y, the BMW just does not stack up. So let's start with this post from AJ. Of course, I will leave a link to this in the description so you can check it out at your own leisure and, check to make sure that I'm being factual here. Anyway, as he says, this evaluation underscores the BMW iX's lack of competitiveness when pitted against the Tesla Model Y, highlighting its inferior specifications and underwhelming sales performance. The sales data shown is from Germany, a market where a BMW branded vehicle should sell the best, and that is definitely true. I mean, it's like GM or Ford or something in the United States. They have a big leg up on the competition because they're considered a local brand rather than an international brand. So even though Tesla produces Model Ys in Berlin, as far as I understand it, most people there still considered a foreign car manufacturer. So therefore the BMW should have a leg up on the competition in terms of that market in particular. So let's start with this amazing graphic that shows you quite clearly how BMW iX sales versus Tesla Model Y sales have gone in Germany specifically. So you can see the BMW iX, even though it went on sale a month earlier than the Tesla Model Y in Germany, has sold 8,926 vehicles over the past couple of years. You can see down here it says 2107. That would be, July of 2021. So it's not the year 2107 or something like that. But anyway, all the way up to October of 23. So it's just a little bit over 2 years at this point. But you can see in the meantime, the Tesla Model Y has sold 80,083 units, or not quite 10 times, 9.5 times or something like that. Basically an order of magnitude more than the BMW iX has sold. And remember, this is on BMW's home turf. This is in Germany. So this is about as well as this car is going to do. And now we get to the chart where we can see in Europe, the Model Y Performance is 60,990 euros, where the BMW iX is 77,300 euros. And as you can see here, that's a plus 27% difference in favor of the Model Y Performance. And if you think that's bad, let's take a look in the United States. So we have the Model Y Performance here at 52,490, and we have the BMW iX. You can pay 111,500 if you want the all-wheel drive, but if you want just the base model, so this is the lower end trim, it's $87,100. And as that turns out, that's a 66% premium that you're paying for the iX in the United States. So the 27% premium in Germany is about a best case scenario for the iX. And now let's look at the rest of the stats here. So the range, which is WLTP, which is not the most ideal one. The EPA range is better. Neither of them is perfect by any means. But anyway, just apples to apples. The WLTP range is 514 kilometers for the Model Y Performance and 394 kilometers for the BMW iX, or a negative 23% loss for the BMW. So that's a substantially lower range. And if you want to put that in miles, that's about 245 miles WLTP. The EPA range is even lower than that. That's a very, very low range vehicle. I just did an episode talking about the main reasons why people are, hesitant to buy an EV. And one of the big things is range anxiety. And I said you really shouldn't buy a vehicle that has less than 250 miles of range. Again, this is WLTP. I'm at 250 miles of EPA range. So anyway, this is right on the edge, and that would be for an inexpensive car. That would be like a Model 3 standard range or something, which until we get the refresh, right now it's about 267 miles of EPA EPA range. But anyway, so you're on the fence in terms of range for an inexpensive car, not for one that costs 80,000 euros or 87,000 US dollars or something like that. And that's of course assuming that you don't buy all of the extras that you're going to probably end up buying when you go to the BMW dealership. You could easily walk out of there spending $100,000 on this vehicle rather than the 87,000 that's listed in the US. Of course, this comparison is for the xDrive 50, which has a little bit more range than the xDrive 40 that's in AJ's comparison, but I don't believe you can buy the xDrive 40 in the United States. So that's the best I could do. But anyway, we're looking at, like I said, a 66% premium for the cheapest iX that you can buy in the United States. So it's even worse than the one in Germany. So anyway, while the Model Y Performance has really good range and is very adequate, the iX Drive 40 is very, very on the fence in terms of even having the basic enough range in order for you to drive it on a daily basis and take it on some road trips and things like that. And let's not count the fact that currently, at least, you only have access to things like Electrify America and stuff. Soon they will have access to NACS and things will get better and they'll have access to the superchargers. But right now, taking this on a road trip with relatively small range, relatively low charging speeds, and not access to Tesla's supercharger network means that that range is pretty minimal, especially for a very expensive luxury car. Next up, we have the 0 to 100 kilometer per hour or 0 to 62 mile per hour time test. And you can see the Model Y Performance comes in at 3.7 seconds, whereas the BMW iX comes in at 6.1. And even my long range Model Y, which is not the performance version, is 4.8 seconds. And then I purchased the speed boost, so it's 4.3 seconds. So even my long range non-performance version of the Model Y is way faster than the xDrive 40. And of course, as you see here, a big reason for that is that the Model Y has 535 horsepower, while the BMW iX, remember, this is a sports car, right? BMW is a sports luxury car. It only has 326 horsepower, or 39% less horsepower. And then if you add to that the fact that the BMW is a heavier car in addition to being underpowered, you can see that the Tesla is 2,072 kilos and the BMW is 2,440 kilos. So it's 18% heavier and it's got 39% lower horsepower. So no wonder it only accelerates 0 to 100 in 6.1 seconds. Next up, we have the Model Y Performance's official top speed is 217 kilometers per hour, where the BMW iX's is only 200 kilometers per hour. And by the way, it turned out that AJ was incorrect about this. It's actually 250 kilometers per hour. I looked at that number and I was like, 200 sounds too low for the Model Y Performance. Anyway, it's 250 kilometers per hour, which is a whopping 20% faster than the BMW. And for those in the United States, if you want it in miles per hour, the Model Y Performance can do 155 miles per hour. And interestingly enough here, AJ actually responds, I have never taken my Model Y up to anything close to these speeds, but he said, actually, you can go faster than that. He said it will do 255, so there is no hard electronic limit. So anyway, apparently the car will actually exceed 250 kilometers per hour, whereas the BMW is more than likely electronically limited. But anyway, the stated max speed of the Model Y Performance is 20% faster than the iX. It's pretty shocking considering that, again, BMW is considered the sporty luxury brand, not the luxury brand. So these are the specs where it should be competing and beating something like a Tesla. Next up, for those weekend trips or packing luggage or whatever it is that you want to pack into your vehicle, the maximum cargo space of the Model Y Performance is 2158 liters, which is a pretty huge amount of cargo space, whereas the BMW iX only has 1750 liters, and that's 19% less storage space. So again, if you're going on a family trip with like 4 people plus a bunch of luggage or something, that's going to make a big difference. So not only do you not have a big battery, not only do you not have access to the best charging network, but the BMW is also smaller, so you can't even pack as much stuff in it. And at the same time, bizarrely enough, if you look at the dimensions down below, you can see that the BMW is 4%, 5%, and 4% larger than the Tesla Model Y Performance. So it's a bigger car, but it doesn't have as much storage space. So tell me how that works. I don't know. Just shows how ridiculously efficient Tesla's engineers are at building a vehicle that takes up the minimum amount of room so that there's the most amount of, human accessible cargo space inside the vehicle. Pretty remarkable stuff on Tesla's part. And next up, let me show you a couple of quick clips from driving the iX in Vancouver at the Fully Charged Live event. I just want to show you this interface first. You can see it's rather attractive. You've got these two nice screens and everything, but then look at the amount of buttons. There's buttons here, there's buttons here, there's buttons here, there's buttons down here, there's buttons up here. Putting it in drive and all of that stuff is a little complicated, and it does have some pretty cool modes and things like that that make awesome sounds when you drive and all of that. And yeah, you can turn on motor sounds to pretend like you're actually driving a gas-powered car and stuff, but all of that stuff is not particularly helpful. Yeah, they were kind of fun, but they're nothing that you're actually going to spend time dealing with on a daily drive. You just want to get in the car and drive it. And as for the acceleration, it does have a very, very rapid acceleration, but it's actually not comfortable. I don't know quite how to put this, but it's more like somebody hits you in the back when you push the accelerator really hard. So you stomp on it and it almost feels like somebody's just whacking you in the back of the chair, right? It's just like, bam, it's just hitting you with something really heavy. So it's a very uncomfortable start on the BMW. It does accelerate really quickly. And of course, this is the high-end one with the all-wheel steering that's like $110,000. So it definitely has a lot faster acceleration, but it's not a comfortable acceleration. It's like a hard acceleration. The Model Y, and of course mine is the long range, so it's not the performance, but it has a little bit of a smoother startup. It still pushes you back in your seat, but it doesn't feel like somebody's actually hitting the car. It doesn't feel like you had an accident when that happens. So you get that smoother acceleration that just feels a little bit better. And if anyone's like, well, that's because you don't have the performance, I've also driven the Plaid, and the Plaid does the same thing. It doesn't feel like somebody hit you in the back. It's got just a little bit of a ramp up to that acceleration that feels more comfortable. So the whole thing feels more comfortable, more in control, better. It's just a better feeling. I don't know how else to say it. You pretty much have to test drive them in order to feel that thing. But I definitely noticed that driving the iX, it was like, oh gosh, way too hard. It was kind of a violent feeling. It wasn't a comfortable acceleration feeling. So it should put a smile on your face, not make you think you just got hit by a dump truck in the back of the car. Shouldn't have that sort of feeling when you start up. So anyway, here's a couple of quick clips of me driving it.
Hang a left here.
A left, okay. Well, let's see how good of a turning rate. Oh my goodness, that thing turns like crazy.
So
okay, yeah, I had to actually back off because it was turning too hard.
Well, it's got rear wheel turning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Exactly. And then if you're moving too fast, if you're moving on the highway, for instance, and you're doing a tight turn, it'll counter steer on the back.
Woohoo! Okay, sorry, I had to back off. I just wanted to test it. That was fun.
And then, you can go into my modes from there.
Okay.
And if you really want to get personal, you can adjust all these.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's mostly cosmetic with this.
Right.
So sport mode, it'll change the heads-up display.
Oh, and it looks kind of aggressive.
And it'll give it like a classic kind of sports car sound.
Gotcha.
Regard,
Oh, so it does. It'll actually pipe some sound in.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it in sports car mode because why not? You ready, Brian? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I really, really like the sound. That's fun. And if you put it in like chill mode or whatever, it doesn't do that, so it's like a little more quiet or something.
So check this out. So let's put it in expressive mode, for instance.
Okay, expressive mode. Okay. Okay, that is cool. Okay, that's fun.
It's also worth noting that all the sounds on this are recorded by Hans Zimmer, the famous
really
movie music.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Speaking of which, big Hans Zimmer fan, folks. Dune, can't wait for Dune 2 to come out.
Oh yeah.
Since nobody's following me.
Type.
Oh yeah, that is really good. Like I keep not even pegging it. It's just like, wow, Hans Zimmer recorded this stuff. That's awesome.
So you can this has got 2 modes. So it'll open up where it creates basically a skylight effect where you can see out into the night sky. It's better when you're driving at night.
Right.
Or again, if you don't want people looking in from above, it'll completely cloud.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Oh, sorry, my bad.
All good.
I will catch it right here somewhere. All right, so there you have it. You can tell I enjoyed the drive, and of course I was being nice because there was a BMW person in the passenger seat. So I'm not going to sit there and trash talk it while I'm driving the car. But it was fun, but definitely not twice the price fun because again, remember this was the expensive one. This was $110,000+ vehicle, whereas the Model Y Performance is $52,000. So you could buy 2 Tesla Model Ys comfortably before you would buy one of the BMWs. And by the way, just one other point here quick, this guy right here, this the monkey's butt grill and stuff, I always thought that was real. That's fake. It's just like a kind of a cheap like, you know, stick-on thing. It's like a plastic thing that they just put on the front to make it look like there's a grill. There's not a grill there at all. So it's not doing anything functional. It's just there aesthetically. And I think, wow, what an incredibly disgusting choice aesthetically to put that there when it doesn't even serve a practical purpose. So yeah, the actual air intake is down here at the bottom where the black thing is, just like with the Tesla. And they just put the grill on there and it's not even good. It's just a cheap plastic sticker that they put on there to make it look like a grill. So I don't know. The BMW's gotten out of control with the grill thing. I don't know why they feel like that's such an important thing, but I guess that's their branding and that's what they're going to stick to. But it was really cheesy. I was like, man, this is over $100,000 car and it's got a cheesy sticker pretending to be a grill on it. That does not seem appropriate for a luxury vehicle. I could be wrong. Maybe you disagree with that, but that feels very wrong to me. So anyway, the Tesla wins on all the specs except price, where the BMW is way bigger. So, you know, they win on the spec of charging a lot of money, and it also wins on aesthetics too. If you look at the two vehicles, the Tesla just looks meaner, sharper. It looks like it's going to cut through the air better. It's not so boxy. The BMW is boxy and ugh. And the BMW just doesn't drive as well as the Model Y long range, not to say performance. So it's just not as snappy. It's not as good of a vehicle. It's not as comfortable of a vehicle. It does have some bells and whistles that the Tesla doesn't have, but they're, like I said, they're just like sounds and things. So you can pretend like you have a gas engine or something. So if you really want that, you can just take your phone and put on, you know, auto engine sound and just have revving sounds playing on your speaker system, because the Tesla has a great speaker system. So if you really want car revving sounds, just put it on your phone, put it on the speaker system and blast it out as you're driving your Tesla. So that's a direct comparison between the BMW iX and the Tesla Model Y Performance. You can see why people are buying Teslas right now and why I keep saying right now is a tale of two EVs. There's the tale of Tesla, which is doing amazing and people are buying a ton of it. And there's the tale of every other manufacturer trying to sell EVs, and they're not doing very well at all. And while BMW is selling a reasonable amount, they're selling an order of magnitude fewer cars, even in Germany, than Tesla's Model Y. And that says it all. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it fun and interesting and thought-provoking. If you did, please do like it so other people can find it. And of course, consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon, my YouTube channel members, and of course, my ex-subscribers. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel in any way that you can. And of course, if you want to join any of the teams, just check out the links in the description. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of really cool merch, check out our merch store. Link is in the description. We have TeslaBot t-shirts, the Tesla meme t-shirt, Success is a Possible Outcome, 4680 battery cells. All of that stuff is on t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and on. So check it out. And finally, don't forget, we are both Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how going shopping for a new car, a solar roof, a power wall, or anything on Amazon helps out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.